Hello and a very warm welcome to the Sussex Daily News Channel. This afternoon, we give you a piece of breaking news. Harry was fiercely criticized for saying that social media stokes crisis of hate. Prince Harry on Thursday said social media was stoking a crisis of hate and urged companies to rethink their roles in advertising on digital platforms. In an opinion piece for U.S. business magazine Fast Company, headlined, "Social Media is Dividing Us, Together We Can Redesign It," Harry said that social media, as it currently stands, is unwell. The former senior royal said he and his wife Meghan have spent the past few weeks working with business leaders and marketing executives on the issue to try and enact positive change. He wrote, "The digital landscape is unwell, and companies like yours have the chance to reconsider your role in funding and supporting online platforms that have contributed to, stoked, and created the conditions for a crisis of hate, a crisis of health, and a crisis of truth." He called for online communities to be defined more by compassion than hate, by truth instead of misinformation, by equity and inclusiveness instead of injustice and fear-mongering, by free rather than weaponized speech. However, he was fiercely criticized for saying so. Social networking expert Adam Shearer pointed out that this only increased anger among users. He said, "Harry's plan to remake social media and have no idea what he's talking about or how he thinks you can accomplish this utopia of only good news and positive posts. Are companies like Facebook and Twitter supposed to become our new online police? If they think a post is negative or might promote a hate, like me saying I hate cigarettes, then they should take down my post and cancel my account? Will we now have to monitor our speech and write, 'I'm not in love with cigarettes'?" He continues, "You are deranged if you think anyone here cares about what you think. You have shown zero empathy, kindness, and commitment. All you care about is a lavish lifestyle to party with rich and famous without earning your way. Pathetic excuse for humans." Harry wasn't interested in social media before he met Meghan Markle. Because before he met Meghan Markle, Harry was loved and had other things to do. He had a job in the royal family, friends' family, things to do. Now his mission in life is to force people to be nice to his wife, instead of teaching his wife to act in a way that makes people like her. Harry said he and Meghan started their social media reform campaign at the same time as the launch of the Stop Hate for Profit movement in June. That campaign was launched by a coalition of nonprofits who urged companies to stop advertising on Facebook until the Mark Zuckerberg-owned firm more effectively tackled hate speech on its platform. But one thing Harry probably forgot, that is, here he goes again. In America, he is beginning to lecture the titans of industry and social media on how they should handle their businesses. Who the hell does he think he is? He is nothing here. The royal family needs to lock him up somewhere and stop him from meddling in the politics of other countries. Harry urged every social media platform to step up and take responsibility for creating new standards for hate speech and to work more actively with consumers, not ad-buying corporations, to create a safe environment that isn't cashing in on misinformation and hate. Harry wrote, "Companies that purchase online ads must also recognize that our digital world has an impact on the physical world, on our collective health, on our democracies, on the ways we think and interact with each other, on how we process and trust information." However, Ms. Halios Tran, a social media marketer, also mocked Harry for this article. She said, "The social media article, oh my goodness, does he not see how ridiculous he looks? Lecturing all of us advertisers, media platforms, us? Clearly, Harry is harping on social media because he doesn't like what is written about him and his wife. Thought it was all just noise, you pair of liars." Word salad again, courtesy no doubt from Cringe. He has been working on this, has he? Wow, they look like such complete idiots again. And many fans also criticized him for this article. A user tweeted, "So now poor sad Harry and Megxie want to redesign social media and stifle free speech because they can't handle the truth, and it is hindering their delusions of grandeur? We all know they are playing a game and have their sugars all over social media spreading this sycophantic rubbish. It is not going to work because anyone with a brain knows exactly what they are doing. The second wrote, hypocritical Harry wants a ban on criticism on social media platforms, but it's okay when his Z-lister malignant narcissist wife is criticizing his own family so publicly. He has no qualms about the constant mud throwing, knowing that the royal family would not respond. But if anyone dares to question anything in regards to the Harkles, they take it as a personal offense and they demand the immediate shutdown. Another fan added, essentially, how to mean the internet is and how he and the Markle are working with companies to solve it. At least, I think that isn't what he's saying. Clearly, the Markle wrote his lines. This photographer is right. There's nothing here recognizable as Harry. He's just a totally beaten down man who still is confused about how he got nowhere doing nothing. His family must be wondering what drug she's got him on. He's certainly no longer on Earth. Back his article, Harry said it isn't only corporations that need to act either. Users and consumers must be more engaged too. He said that by crafting spaces that are supportive and trustworthy both online and off, everyone wins, even the platforms themselves. The Royal added that it shouldn't be considered coincidence that the rise of social media usage has been met with a correlating trend of increasing division. He added that amidst the ongoing global coronavirus pandemic, millions of people across the globe now rely on algorithmically driven information feeds as a means of disseminating between fact and fiction. One could argue that access to accurate information is more important now than any other time in modern history, Harry continued. And yet, the very places that allow disinformation to spread seem to throw their arms up when asked to take responsibility and find solutions. Because he only wants airbrush comments and any criticism is regarded as a personal affront. Harry needs to get over himself and recognize that free speech is still a thing, thank goodness. He's afraid he can't get away with his hypocritical ways without being called on it. If he doesn't like what's being said, maybe he should check his actions and work on his behavior before blaming everyone else for not buying what he's selling. Plus, now Harry is preaching against social media just because he and Meghan are so unpopular. He equates criticism with hate. This highly privileged guy has become so whiny, tense, and negative. And there he is preaching everyone on negativity. He sees negativity everywhere because he's full of it. He's just projecting. In summation, Harry said there's much work to be done, and we do not have the luxury of time. He said the change needs to start now, especially considering how spending on digital advertising is set to eclipse ad spending in traditional media. Harry also urged advertisers to take a stand and demand change from the very places that give a safe haven and vehicle of propagation to hate and division. In what he marked the beginning of a global movement, Harry said that above all else, he hopes that social media can become a utopian community built on empathy, tolerance, and kindness. The internet has enabled us to be joined together. We are now plugged into a vast nervous system that, yes, reflects our good, but too often also magnifies and fuels our bad, Harry wrote. As I said earlier, they use social media to push their agenda. Another commentator said they are pushing travel lists on many different social media platforms. They were okay with social media, with creating their success royal crap online, like they using private jets or promoting whatever crap they need to sell or spewing mud at his family, but if it's not favorable to them, they labeled it as Harry-ate. The hypocrisy of these two is staggering. Harry didn't mention any specific companies by name in his opinion piece. The op-ed was published in Fast Company, a magazine that bills itself as the world's leading progressive business media brand. The outlet was first launched in 1995 by Alan Weber and Bill Taylor, two former Harvard Business Review editors who said they founded the magazine on a single premise. Global revolution was changing business, and business was changing the world. I think this article is ridiculous. Social media in particular, and society in general, are born so that we may have the right to free speech. It cannot be controlled by anyone, and although it has its own thought-driving implications, we must have our own perception of a problem. Harry wants that everything is good, but the fact that it is actually bad cannot be cured. And at this point, it is social media that tells us the real face of the problem. Do you agree with my opinion? If so, please share this video with everyone who agrees and likes to learn information like you. If not, let everyone know your opinion in the comments below. And if you like our videos, subscribe to my channel to receive more videos in the future. Now, thanks for watching, have a good night, and see you in the next video.
Harry used to be an understanding guy until one day Meghan shows up and things get messed up with him. Silly, inadvertently empty content. I wished Harry were educated. He was quite attractive with an educated look, but now I'm disappointed, and there was a time when I put my faith in Harry. He believes that he will keep his qualities from before, and then life is not like a dream, everything goes wrong. Meghan will have it all in the future, but she lacks learning how to be a truly good person.